Ever wonder who the women in Bill Clinton's life were? There are way too many to put all of them in this countdown, but watch this video to learn about the most interesting women who may or may not have been with our Playboy President Bill Clinton. Are you serious? Bill Clinton and Elizabeth Hurley? Actor Tom Sizemore, who claims he once dated Hurley, was caught on tape claiming he arranged a tryst between Bill and Elizabeth Hurley. On the tape, Sizemore is heard telling two unidentified people how Bill convinced him to hand over Hurley's number. He said Bill cornered him and asked for Hurley's number at a White House screening of Saving Private Ryan in 1998. Clinton allegedly called Hurley that night saying, "Elizabeth, this is your commander-in-chief. I'm sending a plane to pick you up in 3 hours. Is that enough time?" Clinton then immediately flew her to Washington from LA on a private jet, where she stayed for 4 days. Sizemore said that Hurley and Clinton carried on their sexual affair for about a year before he stopped calling her, explaining that he was beginning to have feelings for her and didn't want that to complicate things. Of course, Hurley denied the claims. The earliest verified time that Clinton and Hurley ever met was in 2001, when a spokesperson confirmed that they were both at a Santa Monica beach house. Tom Sizemore did eventually back off his claims, saying that he made everything up, and pointed out that he was high on drugs and alcohol when he said those things on tape. Here are 2 things that I know to be true. 1. I'd never tell Tom Sizemore anything that I wouldn't want someone else to find out. 2. Look at this picture. Come on. Look at the way they're looking at each other. When I say Miss Arkansas, were you thinking of just one girl? Well, for a guy like Bill Clinton, come on, let's be for real. 1 isn't enough. Allegedly, he was with not just 1 or 2 former Miss Arkansas, but 3. It was alleged that he had an affair with Lancola Sullivan, who was Miss Arkansas in 1980, Elizabeth Ward, who won in 1982, and Sally Perdue, who won in 1983. There are rumors of Bill with Sullivan, but he's been on tape denying being with her. That tape is actually a conversation with one of his mistresses who secretly taped their conversation. But we'll get to that later. Elizabeth Ward, now Elizabeth Grayson, initially denied the claims in 1992, but then said it was true. She apologized to Hillary in an interview on NBC saying, quote, "What I did was wrong, and I feel very, very bad about it now. My behavior was inappropriate. That's just the bottom line. That's not the way a woman should treat a woman." She added, quote, "I was very young, but I always knew what I was doing." As for Sally Perdue, she stated in 1994 that she had an affair with Bill back in 1983. She also stated that she had been asked not to reveal the affair in 1992 by a former Clinton staffer, who supposedly told her that, quote, "They knew that I went jogging by myself, and he couldn't guarantee what would happen to my pretty little legs." Perdue has also said Clinton liked to dress in her nightgowns and play the saxophone for her while dancing. But let's not get too wild on this video. Jennifer Flowers, a former actress and penthouse model, came forward during Bill's 1992 presidential campaign stating that she had a 12-year relationship with Bill. After Clinton denied having a relationship with Flowers on 60 Minutes, she held a press conference in which she played secret tape recordings of phone calls with Clinton. Busted. News reports at the time speculated that the taped phone conversations between Flowers and Clinton could have been doctored. Flowers had sold the original tapes, and they were never lab tested. In a deposition in January 1998, Bill admitted, testifying under oath, that he had a sexual encounter with Flowers. He, however, stated it was only on 1 occasion in 1977. Jennifer Flowers did make a pretty penny from the incident. She supposedly made around $500,000 from selling the tapes, going on interviews, and writing a book titled Jennifer Flowers, Passion and Betrayal. Kathleen Willey was a White House volunteer aide who in 1998 went on 60 Minutes and claimed that Bill sexually assaulted her on November 29, 1993, during his first term as president. According to Willey, during a meeting in the private study of the Oval Office, Clinton had embraced her tightly, kissed her on the mouth, grabbed her breast, and Clinton has denied assaulting her. Willey has a history of controversial claims, including telling her boyfriend she was pregnant, and she had a miscarriage when she didn't. Julie Hyatt Steele, a friend of Willey, released an affidavit accusing Willey of asking her to lie to corroborate Willey's account of being sexually groped by President Clinton in the Oval Office. The U.S. Office of the Independent Counsel decided to investigate and reported that, quote, Willie and President Clinton are the only direct witnesses to their meeting, and their accounts differ substantially on the crucial facts of what occurred. In short, there was insufficient evidence to prove to a jury beyond a reasonable doubt that President Clinton's testimony regarding Kathleen Willie was false. The Independent Counsel declined to prosecute Bill, because this came to be a he said, she said. JUANITA BROADDRICK was a former nursing home administrator. She first met Bill when he made a visit to her nursing home during his 1978 gubernatorial campaign. BROADDRICK wanted to volunteer for the campaign and said Bill invited her to stop by the campaign office in Little Rock. She contacted the office a few weeks later, wanting to meet with Clinton at the campaign office. Clinton suggested they meet at her hotel's coffee shop instead. When he arrived, he instead requested that they have coffee in her room to avoid reporters in the lobby, which BROADDRICK agreed to. BROADDRICK said they spoke briefly in her room, and then Clinton suddenly kissed her. BROADDRICK says she pushed Clinton away and told him she was married and not interested. Supposedly he tried to kiss her again, and then forced her down on the bed. She told him no again, then yelled, "Please stop," but Clinton continued. She said he bit her lip, which left her lip swollen. BROADDRICK claimed as she was crying afterwards, Clinton walked to the door, calmly put on his sunglasses, and said, "You better put ice on that." Then he walked out the door. Records show BROADDRICK attending a nursing home meeting at the Camelot Hotel in Little Rock on April 25, 1978. The Clinton administration wouldn't respond to requests for Clinton's official schedule for the date, but news reports suggest he was in Little Rock that day, with no official commitments in the morning. 3 weeks after the alleged assault, BROADDRICK showed up to a small Clinton fundraiser at the home of a local dentist. BROADDRICK says Bill didn't talk to her at the event, but Hillary approached her, took her hand, and said, quote, "I just want you to know how much Bill and I appreciate what you do for him." When BROADDRICK moved her hand away, she said, Hillary held on to her and said, quote, "Do you understand? Everything that you do." BROADDRICK says she interpreted the incident as Hillary Clinton thanking her for keeping quiet. BROADDRICK said in 1991, Bill called her out of a state nursing standards meeting to try to apologize. Supposedly, Clinton said, quote, "Juanita, I'm so sorry for what I did. I'm not the man that I used to be. Can you ever forgive me? What can I do to make this up to you?" Clinton's attorney, David Kendall, denied the allegations on Clinton's behalf. He stated, "Any allegation that the president assaulted Ms. BROADDRICK more than 20 years ago is absolutely false. Beyond that, we're not going to comment." President Clinton himself didn't say anything on the subject. When asked about BROADDRICK's claims at a news conference, Bill said, "Well, my counsel has made a statement about the issue, and I have nothing to add to it." To be clear, Bill Clinton has never been charged with anything in connection with BROADDRICK's allegations. Paula Jones is a former Arkansas state employee who sued Bill for sexual harassment. The Paula Jones case was what really caused Bill's impeachment back when he was president, when charges of perjury and obstruction of justice were brought against Clinton. According to Paula Jones's account, in 1991 she was escorted to Clinton's hotel in Little Rock, Arkansas, where he propositioned and exposed himself to her. It was in this specific lawsuit that Jones's lawyers had the opportunity to question Clinton under oath about his sexual history, and it was in the course of this testimony, Clinton denied having had a sexual affair with a certain person on this countdown, a denial that led to his impeachment for perjury and obstruction of justice. Several people disputed her account, including her sister and brother-in-law. They said that she had described her encounter with Clinton as happy and gentle. In addition, Jones had claimed to friends that Clinton had a particular deformity on his a claim that was revealed to be false by investigators. Hold up, how'd they make sure this was true? In 1998, the case was dismissed because of lacking legal merit. Jones decided to appeal the ruling, but on appeal, Clinton was faced with the prospect of having to go under oath again and testify more about his sexual history. Instead, Clinton agreed to an out-of-court settlement, paying Jones and her lawyers $850,000 to drop the suit. To be honest, I don't know if I believe anyone on this countdown at this point. And now, we're at number 1 on this countdown of the women in Bill's life. But before we get there, click on this little button right here. Come on, y'all knew who number 1 was. Monica Lewinsky was a White House intern with whom President Bill Clinton admitted to having had what he called an, quote, inappropriate relationship while she worked at the White House in 1995 and 1996. Lewinsky stated that between November 95 and March 97, she had 9 sexual encounters with Bill Clinton that involved a bunch of sexual acts in the Oval Office, but not actual sex. Lewinsky saved the gifts that Clinton had given her during their relationship, including the famous blue dress that had the president's DNA. It was during the Paula Jones case, as we learned earlier, that under oath, Bill denied having had a, quote, sexual affair, sexual relations, or a sexual relationship with Lewinsky. On January 26, 1998, Bill stated, "I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky." Clinton had also said, quote, "There's not a sexual relationship, an improper sexual relationship, or any other kind of improper relationship," which he defended as truthful because of the use of the present tense, famously arguing it depends on what the meaning of the word is. I mean, come on, Bill. Let's not get into the grisly details here, but let's just say there's a blue dress with DNA, as well as a cigar and a certain area of the body. Clinton, of course, famously admitted it all and stated, quote, "I did have a relationship with Miss Lewinsky that was not appropriate." But Clinton denied having committed perjury because, according to Clinton, the legal definition of oral sex was not encompassed by sex per se. In addition, Clinton claimed that because certain acts were performed on him, not by him, he didn't engage in sexual relations. Oh my god, come on, bro. Lewinsky, however, contradicted Clinton's claim of being totally passive in their encounters. Well, I guess lying under oath isn't really that serious. Here's what's next. The biggest Clinton scandals.